The Expert Circle.
It's like, I know Jon Mero. I was like, sure you do. That's great, man. Like, whatever. Like, you play basketball with everybody, sure, whatever. It's like, yeah, man, Jon Mero's coming. Like, put him on the program. I'm like, for real?
Sometimes singers can't help themselves, but a very talented individual. So through this conversation, we're going to force him to brag on himself, which he's not really comfortable doing. We're going to fix that. And we're going to talk about life, some other things. What you got? Let's get this kicked off.
All right, so I am tasked at interviewing all of Stan's friends. I don't know if y'all noticed that over the last couple of days. Like, all of the people that we've come on the stage as celebrities, like, Stan is like, oh my gosh, I know this person. And when people talk, they're like, it's like, I know Jon Mero. I was like, sure you do. That's great, man. Like, whatever. Like, you play basketball with everybody, sure, whatever. It's like, yeah, man, Jon Mero's coming. Like, put him on the program. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah. So the first question I have, because, again, I know Stan knows all this, but for everybody's edification, a show like that, like a performance show, is it fixed, man? Like, do they pick? I just gotta ask. Like,
we're going right into it.
Is it fixed? Do they say, all right? They look around the crowd. They're like, all right, no.
I can hear
perfect. You would be perfect. You go.
I can hear the attorneys getting their little paperwork together now. Say it. Here's what I will say about Hollywood shows is that, like anything that you're selling, there is it is smart to understand your demographic. It is smart to understand who's paying, who's watching, who's this, that, and the other. And so that is a part of the process. The other part of it is that when it comes to production, when it comes to performance and different things like that, people know if they want things to move a certain way. I mean, we all listen to music. The reason why particular music gets to us is because people know how to get it to us, And so as far as that show goes, they know what their main demographic is. They know that diversity must be satisfied, but they also know that we are a multi-billion-dollar situation and we know how to keep this thing going. So I'm trying not to say but it's a vote. It's a vote. Votes are part of the process. That's what I'll say. Votes are part of the process.
That was really powerful. It's just in the lesson of entrepreneurship, what you stated before is like, you know who your target is, and then you work to gain more of their attention.
Yes.
And along the way, it's like any news show. And right when we get back, like the cliffhanger.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I have to ask this then.
I told you. I never disappoint.
I have to ask this. I'm a competitive person in nature. You feel like you should have won.
Of course.
Can you say that? We don't. Okay, you can't get.
Okay, you can say that. Okay, you feel like cool.
Why should you have won? Oh, my bad. Yeah.
No, the follow up is you felt like you should have won, but just by getting as far as you did, it made you feel like a winner, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about that.
I mean, here's kind of what I got the call to participate in this show. I was just vacuuming my living room, you know what I mean? And being taken from that spot straight into their situation, getting a blind audition, getting a 4-chair turn, going on.
Who turned their chairs?
So it actually ended up being all of them. So the judges for that season were Adam Levine, Blake Shelton, Miley Cyrus, and Jennifer Hudson. You remember she was throwing them shoes. She like, yeah, couldn't keep them shoes on. But so that's basically what happened. So I remember the guy that so there was a man by the name of Lamont who had lived in Atlanta prior. This is prior to anything happening with The Voice. He had lived in Atlanta prior. Me and him were friends. He had moved to Los Angeles, and at the time was working for a casting company. They do what we call the cattle call, which is like everybody shows up in the gym and like, you know. But then there's also situations where they are pulling, you know, your TikToks, your Instagrams. You know, they're going out and getting people that they. So.
No, you're not. Don't worry. Good interviews bring that out.
Now, really quick, yeah, we told you this was going to happen, but this, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Like, there are levels. That's number one. And what did you say they pull?
They pull from your social media. Yeah.
Folks are always watching. Okay, go ahead, John.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there's that. So as far as your question about making it to the top 12, feeling like I've already won, just understanding in my own life where I was, and then that's where I ended up as a top 12 finalist of an extremely well-known show in Hollywood, and just all the different people that I got to meet, all the things that I got to do. I mean, it didn't even take top 12 for me to feel like I'd won. You know what I mean? It was just absolutely, I wouldn't do it again, but I would do it again. Do you see what I mean? Like, I feel, well, what I mean by that is I feel like I am now equipped to move on to next steps. But that experience, if somebody said, should I? Yes, you should. Because, I mean, if up until that point, I had not really felt, there was nothing in my life about my music and just kind of where I was that had me feeling validated. So when I got there and these folks are saying so many of these things to me, it really is quite unbelievable, because we're obviously always our worst critics, right? And that's something, I don't want to take this too far, you know, but one of the things that I have landed on and just like understanding how my life works for me is really just understanding how my brain and my heart operate in the quiet moments. It's very much, you know, we do what we got to do, and we position ourselves when we're out in public and stuff, but so much of really what matters about our progress happens really when we're alone and when we're thinking about like all of these things. And so that is one of the things that people that knew me, if I said I don't feel, they were like, what are you talking about? You just did this, you just did that, you just did blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, this is how I feel about myself. And so being a participant in that show and seeing people that really were at the top of the game that I wanted to play, and seeing them see me and have this to say, I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Just, you know, so yeah, yeah.
Really quick, so you say that. How important is proximity? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How important is that? Because you hear people talk about get in the room. I think entrepreneurs hear that a lot. We don't hear it in proper context. Mm-hmm. We just hear, oh, get in the room. What is that? Like, what does it really mean? And I think you're kind of, we're starting that conversation mm-hmm. of proximity, like you being close to those people.
Yes.
What did that do to you? Or for you?
I think you had said it when I had walked in when you were speaking about a lot of what your success is going to be because of a group of people. Didn't you say that? Exactly. And I think that is extremely important. Nothing that we really ever do happens. There are exceptions. I never want to but there's not a lot that we can do that won't involve other people, that won't involve the help from other people. And the energy that you feel from other human beings when you're participating in a thing really matters. And I think that being in that room, seeing those people, I mean, we're talking those four, we're talking Kelly Clarkson. If you like the Jonas Brothers, I got to meet Joe Jonas. And all of these people are people who are giving me feedback and they ain't got no reason to lie to me. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know this guy. Like, this is just, so it just, I think the proximity aspect of it, I think it is very, very, very important. I think it's very, very important to, when they say surround yourself by other individuals, it is important to have your alone time. It is important to process things, because I kind of err on that side. I tend to not really be in the mix. I tend to kind of, I'm a homebody. I very much value my alone time. But I also see that one of the things that I'm learning to do, that I need to learn to do, is the relationships with other people. And like just being in this room today, it just absolutely gassed me up. You know what I mean? Just hearing all of these stories and things like that. I mean, it's done so much for me already. So
I love
Thank
that.
you.
I love
Yeah.
that. So can I ask a foolish question again? Because you notice it has going back and forth. It's like, oh, let's make this so deep in proximity. I want to ask some. I'm sorry. I just want to ask some questions. And again, you prepare your questions, you know how we do. But so the moment that you felt like, oh, snap, I'm talking to or I'm having a conversation with, what was that moment and who was that person?
oh man, I remember that was, I honestly think that it was Jennifer Hudson. And the reason why I say that is because she had followed that position that I was in.
Right.
She had been in that position as well, you know. And so I'm always looking for relatability, and she was just so giving and encouraging. And I wasn't on her team, but I was close to the people that were on her team, and you hear how much she. As a matter of fact, from that season, one of the guys, his name is Davon Fleming. He's a much better singer than I am, but he's actually one of her background singers now. So she puts her her money where her mouth is, and I felt that authenticity from her. Now, I was also trying to be strategic. I knew all the black folks was going to go to her team, and they was going to flush me out. So I said, let me go over here, Mr. Levine, and enjoy this little pop bath, you know. So that was a little strategy on my part, and I don't think I would have gotten to top 12 if I had gotten her team. I would have had to get the shoe back.
So this question has to do with, honestly, you know, a speaker, an entrepreneur is something that Stan and I say that, like, all business is show business, to a degree.
Absolutely.
And so with you being, you know, a singer, you know, somebody that can sing, it's like, oh, well, there's a gazillion other people that can sing. What were you doing before you were vacuuming your floor to get that call?
Now, so, okay, little backstory. I am from, and I was telling Ramon this, I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, okay? I'm 36 years old.
There are black people in Des Moines.
That's no, I was waiting on it. I'm like, who's going to say it? Who's going to say Yeah, that's the thing. Are there any black people in Iowa, or you just get the, where's that? It's like it's people like Idaho and Iowa. Like people confuse those two. So I moved from Des Moines, Iowa, when I was 25. So I'm not one of these guys who is like, you know, when I was 19, I was making beats in my bed. Like I hesitate to call it a late start because I don't think there's a late start for an individual. I think you just follow your plan. Like if I say I had a late start, that means I'm comparing myself to somebody. You see what I mean? You're just doing what you're doing. You understand? So, to what was I doing? I was in Iowa up until I was 25. I was living a life that I did not want to live. When I was 16, I started working in. I had my first desk job at 16 years old. But that was just kind of what it was. That's the environment that I was around. When I kind of started learning singing well enough to get paid for it around when I was like 19 or 20 years old, and a lot of wedding ceremonies, a lot of weird stuff. I used to do the national anthem for like this cage fighting thing. Like I was friends with one of these, and here's my little skinny butt, like hair shaking, and it's like I don't belong here. I don't belong. So, but just all those different kinds of things. But as all of this is happening, I knew I was like, I want more than this. Like this is where I feel feel the most myself. So when I was 25, I moved to Atlanta. And so from 31 is when I got on the show. 31 is so you got a 6-year period there where I was basically just acclimating myself to a place. It was a culture shock, y'all. I mean, because, coming from Des Moines, Iowa, being what I would call, as a singer, a big fish in a small pond, and then moving to Atlanta, where it's like, okay, everybody sings here. Everybody raps here. Like, everybody, So your question about you kind of alluded to it as far as, like, everybody can sing. What do you do that moves that along? And I think you had touched on it too. There's so much more. No, it's about talking about the talent. Talent's like the lowest. It's everybody. We've got talent, but in the world today, I mean, it takes so much more than that. It takes the networking. It takes research. It takes figuring out who your demographic is if you're trying to sell something. It takes all these particular things, because talent can just sit there and lay dormant. Talent is not an action. It's a gift, but it's not an action. Like, it's not it doesn't do it. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out how to utilize it, weaponize, whatever you want to, whatever the word, you got to give it an action plan. And so that's what I think the thing is for that. I hope that was your question.
That was definitely.
Okay.
So Stan, you have deep questions, because I could go foolishness until lunch. But if y'all have any questions, make sure you get. So we got one there, but Stan, go ahead.
Yeah, really quick, I want you all to lean on what he just said, 'cause that speaks to me too, like the talent, like that can lay dormant. What did you say after that?
It doesn't have it doesn't have an action.
Like, it's not an action.
It's not an
like
action.
It's a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift. Yeah.
Because I think I've definitely spent life like, oh, I'm good at this, and that's not enough. Because you see people that make more money doing, but they're not better than you. Hell, we see people on TV or people like on stage with concerts.
I got friends. I'm like, how'd you get over there?
Trash. This is super duper trash out here winning. Right? But we all see that. But speaking of somebody's church, but it's like the. But the ego won't let you. If you feel like, or if you are married to that talent, then it'll always, it's someone else's. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And it's like there's more to it, like the action part. Man, that's deep.
Yeah. Hey,
Like, remember that down.
thank you, Jesus.
Like, the talent is good. So I'll say this from a talented standpoint. Like, as speakers, we all may be really good, and I think we're two of the best. Odell and I. But the skill. And taking action upon the skill, whether it's putting together a pitch and then showing people that, or whether it's marketing or putting, like, that part is the action component. Like, people say, like, marketing is action. Like, it's not, it's something that you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, just being isn't enough. Being able to sing, it's not enough. Anyway.
There's a lot of years where it wasn't enough. Just in my backyard.
Right.
Right.
How did you also maintain your own integrity and being in those spaces? So you feel like you have to sell yourself in order to do the thing.
Right.
And then also, how did you maintain your privacy?
Well, my privacy always comes first, okay? Like, and the reason, and it's not because I feel like I need to be private, but because I feel like it's energy. Do you know what I mean? And the less that people know that they don't need to know, I'm not selling my entire life. If you like what I sound like, if you like the songs that I sing, that's what's for sale. You see what I mean? My entire life isn't for sale, because along with this, I am still a human being trying to live life. Do you see what I mean? And I can't and that's where a lot of the times when you talk about, you talk about this bragging thing, I don't think I'm a celebrity. Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I get it, but I'm so anti that as a human. Seriously, as a human being. You see what I mean? That I don't want to answer your question. I don't really feel like I have to grapple with that. I don't go to Publix thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get, because it's not going to happen. You see what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to Publix, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to Target, picking up my face care regime, regimen, that's what they call it, regimen.
Yeah, regimen. Your skin looks amazing, by the way. I don't know
Thank you
anyone
so
told
much.
that.
Thank you so much. Paula's Choice, if you want to know.
Black
Free
don't-
advertisement on
Black
that.
don't
No, that's the
crack.
other part of it too. It ain't
Black
Paula, it's
don't
the fact that
crack
you're black. Exactly.
Unless you smoke it.
I heard a comedian say one time, they say, black don't crack, but it do deteriorate. It's like, well, damn. But to go back to that, I do feel like it's important, and this is just some of that work that's got to be done, whether it be reading books, whether it be going to summits like this, but it's being aware, self-aware, it's being aware that this is necessary. It's being aware that it's necessary to have a private side and have that public side, or whatever your business requires, whatever that separation is, to have both of those things and give each of those spaces their energy, because as an older person kind of moving up in this thing, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not 19, right? I'm a grown-ass man. You see what I mean? So I know now, and I'm kind of thankful to God that I kind of started late, because there are certain pitfalls of that, what you're talking about, that possibly if I was younger, I might have fallen into. And the thing about it is, I love the gift of life. Sometimes, I know people say my life, but sometimes I feel like life. Not my life, life. We've all been given this gift of life. To be honest, the earth is the landlord, and we're just here paying rent. You see what I mean? In 150 years, we'll all be gone. It'll be somebody else. It'll be another Beyonce with another Renaissance. You know what I mean? It'll be somebody else. And so when you think about that, you harness that gift of life. Like, it is so precious. In the mindset that triggers in so many different ways, in so many things of life, certain things begin to matter more and certain things begin to matter less. And when you're talking about I feel like I'm rambling, but when you talk about that, having that separation, that privacy, and learning, it's because I don't think that I have any higher status than anyone else in this world. I don't think that I have any lower status than anyone else in this world. You see what I mean? I'm just living my individual life, trying to affect other people as positively as I can, and nobody needs my bullshit.
I love that. I love that. John got some bars, man. Maybe, John, have you ever thought about getting paid to speak?
We may know of an opportunity.
So we got Jonathan. Who else had their hand up? Okay, Jonathan, go ahead.
You mentioned some of the social media and what they were looking at. I was wondering what would be some things positive that they're looking for, and then some things that would kind of ruin your chance.
I don't actually know, because I never really got that feedback. I don't really know. I think they probably are, because they do have an extreme social media team inside that situation. So they're definitely looking for people to be active. They have a lot. I can't tell us, but they got a lot of rules when it comes to how you work your social media while you're a contestant on the show. So it does matter. It does matter. I don't know specifically. They never had that conversation with us about this is why we chose you. Yeah, but you were talking about how what could take you out of the game.
Yeah, just like some dudes, but then also definitely don't do this.
I probably wouldn't, I would probably try to be as unproblematic as possible, and by that I mean more so maybe political issues or religion. You know what I mean? Like religious issues. Hollywood is a liberal. It's just what it is. Hollywood is a liberal place. So if you're gonna get into that, you probably want to lean that way, Or they might look for some controversy. They might write a story around some controversy, whatever they consider to be controversy. So they've done that too. The thing about all this, we just want eyeballs. We just want that's all it is. We just need attention. We don't care. I learned this lesson when Little Nas did the Blood Shoes, right? Everybody was so mad. All the pastors were talking, the pastors of the church. But at the end of the day, it was that's what he wanted. He wanted everyone talking. most people are not disciplined enough to understand, like, if you say my name, that's all I care for. Like, I don't care if you say it in hate or if you say it in love. Just as long as I am, what is the word? Like, who I am is intense enough for you to have a reaction to me. That's all I need. If I am just tepid and it's just like take me or leave me, that's the worst thing that it could be. You see what I mean? It has to be, I have to either love you, and we know a lot of spaces, we have a lot of evidence for that. I either got to love you or I got to hate you. So I would say possibly being provocative, but definitely kind of, I know I said provocative and then yet also unproblematic. And the reason why is because I don't know. Okay? I'm up here trying to figure it out just like you.
I love it. I love it. It's a great question. Somebody had another question? Go ahead.
What would you say out of all the people that you met,
Mm-hmm.
despite them having gifts or talent,
Mm-hmm.
what are like two traits that you would say that every different person you
Two traits: humility and relatability. Both of those. And I'm going to tell you, this person that exuded both of those things in such a way that, like, I honestly can't even believe I can believe that she's a superstar, but it makes you feel like she doesn't know it. And that's Kelly Clarkson. There is something about that woman. She seemed to be nervous to talk to me. She had this weird fidgety thing that she was doing. Like, she was like, and she was like just so into, and it might have been, but that's what I felt from her. I felt like she was so interested in the moment that she was in with everyone. And there's people that I've met that are like that. They're always all famous, but there's people that I feel like relatability and humility will get you so far in anything that you do. Anything. You don't always have to be relatable, but definitely the humility aspect of it. You see what I mean? And it can show itself in so many different kinds of ways, but that's what I always try to do. Just understand who I am, understand what I bring to the table, but understand that there are other people out here too that bring what they bring to the table as well.
I love that. That was a great question. I have to ask this
I love
because,
that.
again, foolishness. Who did you meet that was a jerk? And you don't have to say names, but we would like for you to. But you don't have to. Like, who did you meet? You were like,
and because
really?
we're great friends, we won't like them either. Just so we're
Well,
clear. That's
I'll
how
tell
I
you
roll.
You ain't gonna put it out. No, because I'm gonna be honest with you. But, right, I'm gonna be honest with you. There is something that Louis Farrakhan said, and people said to him, "Why is it that you can be in all these different kinds of rooms, and for some reason you can still maintain your sense of self?" And he said something to the effect of it's because I bring my spirit with me. Now, when it comes to who was a jerk, I don't feel like, in this, as unbelievable as this may sound, I was having the time of my life. I was having the time of my life, and I was acting in that regard. I can't honestly remember. There were some contestants that were, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like people, I feel like in that space, and that's one of the reasons why I say I wouldn't do it again, but I would do it again, is because the space that I was in, like, it was such a giving space. It was such a fantastic experience. The people that had nothing to prove, I mean, most of these celebrities, they're celebrities. They don't have anything to prove to me. And whether, the show, the producers told them you can't be jerks to these guys, I don't know. But I really did not experience a lot of that coming from them. I really didn't experience that as unfulfilling as that answer is.
No. I asked that question for
one time.
I asked that question because as I've started meeting more celebrities, it seems like the higher level most people are really nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy that when you meet them, like we met Martha Stewart, we met Ice-T.
She bake you anything?
Man, not yet. I'm working on it.
But yeah,
She make you. Did she get a butt cake out of the deal? What is it?
but no,
dish,
she was so nice. She was like, "Oh, Adela, a good smile will get you a long way." Like really nice
Martha.
people. And so I think that a part of the reason, again, I wanted to ask that is because a lot of people think as you like go up, it's like, oh, well, this person's got to be a jerk, or this person's got to be a jerk,
Yeah.
or the way we interpret it, because people have bad days. Like everybody has bad days, and if you constantly have people approaching you in Publix,
Yeah.
or different
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
you're like, it's like, because if you went to Publix today, it's like, oh my gosh, you'd be like, okay, great, a couple times, but then you'd be like, okay, can I get my bread?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? This is just so off topic, but this is just my personality. I'm one of those people that I don't like having conversations with people if it doesn't matter. And okay. And what I mean, it's. I'm really speaking on small talk. So I have this weird tick where sometimes I'm in public and I do like I let out something, right?
That's what it means.
And somebody like, boy, you sing what church you sing at? And I'm like, so my answer is I'm not a singer. Because I already know this is going to lead to some more, and I'm just here to get my Newman's Choice pizza and be on my way. Okay? That's it. So I don't, yeah. They turn around too.
I'm not a singer.
That was pretty good, though. I've heard that was good. You're a good.
Hey.
You're a voice coach, also.
Hey, listen, back in the day, I could sing.
Really?
Before my voice changed.
Before your voice changed?
More voice changed, and then I found out I was tone deaf, and I couldn't hear. So,
Well, hey, you know who else is tone deaf? Drake, and he's done very well with it.
Drake is tone deaf.
Drake is tone deaf.
We can tie that in. So.
Aubrey, holler at us, Aubrey. We'll get you there too. Any other questions before we get John out of here and eat some delicious Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. A couple of things I wanted to, like you mentioned, the experience of being so caught up and wrapped up and invested in the experience that you didn't even realize that negativity existed. And I like to think, again, that experience or experiences like this, where while you've been in the room the last couple of days, other things haven't even occurred to you because you were focused on that goal, that dream, not just that talent and gift, but the action it's going to take to arrive where you wanted to go. So that also probably means you need more experiences to then shape the environments that are always with the right people. So you might be like, man, I've just been looking for my tribe, and I got God would just send me my tribe, and you're sitting in a room with your tribe. So then the point is to multiply. It's like, so you should be here too. Because either you will become it or it will become you. There's nothing more true than that. You can think about it. We all say that we're a product of the people that we hang around. But we typically only say that when we feel like we're around great people. You've never been in the worst moment of your life, like, we're a product of the people we're around. Yeah. I'm like, no, my life sucks. I got to get the hell up out of here. These folks are trash out here. But as soon as life is going great, look at all of us. We're all winning. Like, think about the science of that. Yeah, my tribe. But it's like, cool. You've been asking. Now here it is. And if you really want to be a product of those folks, and they should know where you are, what you're trying to do. They believe in you. We believe in you. Some of y'all we just met. And look what's happened over the course of the last day and a half. Or even today in these particular stories. So remember again, you will become it, or it will become you. In conversation like this is kind of, it further ingratiates us to you, John, for being here.
Thank y'all so much. This is my first time ever doing something like this.
Yeah, did he do it? Round of applause for John.
Whoa!
You said, I'm going to kick my leg too. You said it was going to be history. You said yesterday.
Gonna witness history.
You did history. I think
For sure.
Had some,
Question? Go ahead, Sam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Sam.
From your experience, during having the time of your life, working on your talent, leading you to the voice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After that, what did that propel you to? What did you do? How long ago was that?
This was in 2017. I never really talked about. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make this very quick because I think my outro has already happened.
no.
Chick-fil-A is on the way. Chick-fil-A is on the way.
He's been on TV before. had to. It's a callback. In comedy, they call that a callback.
Okay, so in a nutshell, I'll just kind of explain where I am now in music and basically what what being in that situation has done for me. So 2018, I pretty much everything that I do musically now is based out of Nashville. So I started recording in Nashville. I started making a lot of connections there. Just because some people that I had already known prior, it's like, okay, with this on your record, you're now able, we can now bring you into the room with these people. So I started doing that. Fast forward to from 2018 to 2019, I actually got signed to a publishing company called Pure Music Publishing. They're one of the biggest publishers. I mean, anybody that you know, they've got a piece, money's moving through their company. Now, I got signed on the sync side. So what sync music, and I'll make it very quick. Sync music is basically like when you hear music playing behind commercials or you hear it playing behind movies, blah, 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 right? So my voice and in music, my voice and just kind of like where my voice sits with people, it's very, very good for that type of music. Now, the wonderful thing about sync music is that the money is made in music licensing. So over the course of the years, 19, 20, 21, I had been making my little dollars and cents, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was like doing the DoorDash, I was doing the Uber driving, you know what I'm saying? Always chatting up the people in the back seat, they were like, but still, because I like to talk, baby. Like, you done blew past my exit, but keep going, baby. By all means, finish your story. So I was doing all of that, but I knew, with being part of this publishing company, I knew that there was potential financially in this. Now, my idea for myself was that I want to, and it's still the goal. I want to be on the stage. I want to be doing the world tours, blah 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 blah. And we're gonna get to that. But I knew, things in life move in steps, and you have to appreciate the position that you're in. Right? You have to appreciate it while you're still working to get to the next. Don't get too complacent, but just appreciate that that's where you are. And I got a call in doing this. I still had to keep my day job and still do this, making my dollars and cents in both. Well, guess what? I got a call earlier this year that said we did a music license, and actually the song is actually still on TV. Your portion is $114,000. Yes. I said, woo, child! Hold on!
I'll kick out legs. Kick your legs.
Let me
get a leg kick. Go. Everybody kick your leg.
Let me cancel the lease on this dog. Let me move on out. But it's a blessing. And listen, when I got the call, I was sobbing and crying. I had to cut the call off because this was life changing. When you're talking about being validated, I was talking about that. This was just another one of those big situations. And I mean, more has happened, more to come, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's at 36 years old, I'm 36 years old, and there's not many people that I grew up with that still, if nothing had happened, would find me to be moving in the right direction. You see what I mean? It would, you really? Like, no wife, no kids, like, husband, no kid, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but now it's like, no, see, this is why. This is why. I remember when I was a kid, I said, if I don't make it to the big time, by the time I'm 30, I'm quitting. 31 is when I got on The Voice. Everything that's happened for me in my life fantastically has happened after the age of 30. Do you see what I mean? So this is why I say I'm not a late starter. Nobody's a late starter. You know when you start late? When you're under the ground. That's it. That's it. You can be 90. What was that lady from Wakanda? She did.
Oh, that's right. She just passed. I can't remember. She just passed at 90.
Her first acting job was one of the biggest grossing movies in the world. So that's yeah. Okay, I've moved way past the outro.
Listen, you finished strong. You finished strong. If you gonna finish late, finish strong. You know what?
I love it. For booking needs, make sure you go to namcaweb.com. We've got Jon Mero, part of our brand new bureau.
Yeah, congratulations, John. You just found out. Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all.
Where's the Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, so this was gonna happen. Okay. Oh, your social media.
Instagram, it's Jon Mero. TikTok, which I still haven't mastered that. I am 36 years old. It's also Jon Mero. Twitter, Jon Mero. I did just I had a new album come out on the 8th of this month. So if you just like being happy, it's your album. It pales in comparison to Beyonce, though.
Says who? Says who? I don't know.
I heard her album. I was like, "Good Lord, girl." But yeah, so there's that. But thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate y'all.
Jon Mero, y'all.
Yeah, round of applause for Jon Mero. Make some noise. Act like you love him.
Give it up for Stan and Odell, by the way.
Hey, I'll
too.
take that.
Yes,
I'll stand
yes,
up.
yes.
Don't mind standing. Give
Stop
myself a
it.
standing ovation. Cool. So, folks, man, appreciate you big time. Folks, I'm gonna play some music. This was gonna happen. Like, we're gonna grab our lunches when they arrive. They'll be here probably in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But in the meantime, between time, the red carpet is right there. All right. We need you all to utilize that. Take pictures, create content. If you need someone to, hey, can you take this picture for me? Can you do this quick B-roll for me? Like I'm walking away past the car. Can you do that? That's what B-roll is. What we must do is continue to grow ourselves and who we are and understanding the language that's speaking. Man, what's that really cool video? Someone's just kind of walking away and there's music over it with words. That's B-roll. And you all have the opportunity to create it here, obviously. So, and there's plenty of scenery for that. So between the red carpet and being in here, let's find some good lighting. Lunch will be here shortly. Come back in here where we're sitting, and then we're literally about to blow your mind with a couple $1 million worth of game. I say that literally. All right? That sound good? Yes or yes? Yes. All right, cool.
All right. And also, ask John questions. This is something that my parents, my grandparents instilled in me. When somebody has been somewhere that you've never been, or they've done something you've never done, ask them as many questions as possible, because sometimes we forget about things until we're asked. So ask them about the experience. Ask them about standing in line. All that stuff. Like ask them about what that looks like, and maybe it could trigger something in your brain. Like, oh, I can do this, or I can become this. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. DJ, kick that if you can.
The expert circle.